Greetings, hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the 2B Fantalk. Today with a very special guest here at the Augartenfest, an Australian artist, Dub FX. How are you? Welcome to Graz.
I'm good, thank you very much for having me.
Sorry, I got distracted by those guys having a piss. Please. Thank you. So, give me some quick facts about your person. What are you doing here?
All right, if you want me to go from the beginning. So I started off as a street musician and I traveled the world living in a van for 6 years, and rather than taking a band with me, I created the illusion of having a band by looping my voice in a loop station and using effects pedals over my voice, and I create more of my music that way. But now I'm also using like other bits of electronic, like sort of drum machines and synthesizers and stuff as well.
Nice. So, yeah, talking about your music, what was first looped, the voice or the beat?
Well, I mean, both. I mean, I'm a singer first and foremost. I'm not really a beatboxer. I don't really consider myself a beatboxer. The only reason I started beatboxing was because I couldn't find a good drummer that I wanted to work with. Or I knew lots of good drummers, but I just didn't find anyone that I could afford more than anything. So yeah, no, I'm a singer-songwriter first and foremost. I just use beatboxing as a tool to create a beat for my songs. What's the message of your music? What kind of people do you want to reach? I guess there's always a theme of self-empowerment in my music. I had this realization when I was younger. I was really into like metal and rock and all that sort of stuff. And then my dad got me into like Buena Vista Social Club and Cuban jazz and Bob Marley and all this stuff. And I had this realization that all the white bands that I listened to that come from like privileged countries, they all made negative, depressing music like Radiohead and Limp Bizkit and all that stuff. And then all the black poor people were making really uplifting music. And I was like, why? I don't want to be another white guy making depressing music, you know? So I thought I'm just going to make like music that brings people's souls up. That's the whole point of it. So uplifting and self-empowering music. My message is all about learning and growing. So you got inspired basically by your own way and meeting and so many places and people though? Yeah, I've traveled the world and I've seen a lot of stuff. But you know, like my musical taste is always changing. I'm always inspired by new things. And yeah, my travels have taught me more and more to be humble. Speaking about travels, you've been to Jamaica quite a while. So did you gather some inspiration for your future musically things you're doing, or what's going on there? Yeah, so I went there for my honeymoon with my wife. Beautiful. And amongst a few other places we went to, but that was one of them. And it was a really humbling experience. That was actually Jamaica's not like, you know, a paradise resort kind of place. You could probably see that stuff if you want to, but we went right in the heart of Kingston, and it's a pretty rough place, you know. And it was really interesting for me for the first time being a minority, you know, and being treated like a minority. You know, it's a really different experience and a very humbling experience. And what I really enjoyed about being there was seeing just how talented everybody is and how much they thrive on their art and their music, and how they are just, there's just no fear in them, like when they perform, you know. And I don't really have any fear in myself when I perform, but a lot of artists I see in the Western world do. I see a lot of people always shaking before going on stage. You know, whereas in Jamaica, everyone's just like, it's just whatever. Like, they just come on. And I developed that same sort of mindset because of street performing. When you street perform every day, you can perform anywhere. But a lot of artists I know don't do that. And, you know, anyway, yeah, it was a really eye-opening experience. Do you have kind of a ritual before you start playing your songs, or? Absolutely. I do a lot of different things. I do Qigong, which is one of the most ancient forms of meditation and yoga. It predates yoga, where it's all about waking up the body and aligning your body and your mind and your spirit and your soul together through breathing techniques. So I always do that. I do that every day anyway. And then and I kind of pray to my spirits who are always around me, and I ask them to give me energy and to give me strength and power, and I allow them to pass through me, through my music. And the more I do that, the more energetic I feel and the stronger my performances always are. Can you highlight any special moments during your whole career as a musician? in my career as a musician, I mean, it's always just been a long, gradual, steady build-up going up. You know, a lot of artists have this thing where nobody knows who they are, and then they get discovered by some record label, and then they explode into the scene, and they go from like 0 to 100, and then from there on, it's always downhill pretty much, because once you've had your big explosion, it's kind of like, you know, not many, especially today, it's really hard for artists to have longevity, because there's so many artists who are creating music so easily, and the record labels and the agencies, they don't really care. They just like, all right, this guy's hot, I'm gonna make him big, make loads of money off that person, discard, get the next young kid, and they do that over and over again. Whereas I don't have that, because I started by street performing and social media, and so mine's always just been, my fan base is always slowly growing. So it never feels like there's been a specific highlight. I just feel like I'm blessed.
How does it feel to reach so many different people, but kind of equal thinking, people all over the world?
That's one thing that's really blessed for me, is whenever I perform anywhere in the world, whether it's Moscow or New York or, you know, Dubai, or maybe not Dubai, but more like, you know, like in India or something like that. The fans always seem to be the same kind of people. They have the same energy, they have the same ideas, and I seem to attract I've had some really beautiful things told to me, like this one friend of mine, well, not a friend of mine now, but someone who said whenever they go to my shows, they always meet people that they become really good friends with. And I kind of like that. I feel like, because it brings a lot of like-minded people together, and I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm so blessed that I've got people that enjoy my music and they actually hear what I'm saying and they get something out of it. Every day I get messages from people telling me that I help them see something different, you know. And I think that I don't really believe in preaching a message or telling anybody that this is how they should be. For me, like I said, my message is self-empowered. It's all about, for me, it's self-analysis. And rather than saying, oh, you should do this, you should do that, my music is more like, I should do this, I should do that. Because I feel like, and if someone is already having a realization and they're going through a moment in their life where they need to, you know, open their minds a bit further, then they hear something in my song and it helps them a little bit maybe. And that's what people tell me. And I'm so lucky that, you know, I'm still doing what I'm doing 13 years later.
I really need to say that the atmosphere on one of your concerts is like so much different than all others. You're lately uploading some Rooftop Sessions, so are you planning to do some in Austria here?
Ooh, I haven't done some in Austria for a long time, actually. Last time I did some in Austria was when I was living in Vienna. I lived here for about a year. In 2011, I lived here because I've had quite a few friends in Vienna. So I did one with Stamina. No, I mean, I don't plan because I'm only here for 24 hours. I'm doing 2 shows in 24 hours.
Yeah, we're lucky that we got the show is finished and then you're up to Vienna. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing another show tonight.
Tonight? Oh fuck. Okay, then I'm hurry. So let's do some quick questions. They're like stupidity, you know.
Sure.
So, when you stop being an artist and start your career as a farmer, what kind of vegetable would you start growing?
Avocado.
What's your favorite smoothie?
Green.
Your favorite planet?
My favorite planet's Earth.
Your favorite voice of a bird?
Oh, the lyrebird.
Can you give an example?
A lyrebird is a native to my backyard where I live in Australia, and they actually have the most amount of spectrum of sounds that they can create. Actually, they imitate other bird calls. Yeah, there is. If you look them up, lyrebird, and where I live is Lyrebird Sanctuary, actually, in the forest, and it's so actually really sad, but a lot of them now make the noises of chainsaws.
That's horrifying.
I know, because they hear chainsaws in the forest, and so they make that noise. It's crazy. They do that. The males do that to impress the females. It's cool.
Have you ever thought of making a core or something like that? You put 3 birds there and you do like, yeah.
Well, they're really hard to find, and I've only ever seen one. Even though I live in Lyrebird Sanctuary, they're very scared. They don't, and they look kind of like a roadrunner, but or like a long chicken. Yeah, they're cool.
Awesome. Okay, let's go on to our last question. So, the last song who got stuck in your head?
What was the last song that got stuck in my head? Probably one of my own songs. That happens a lot because I'm always singing them, so they always just go in my brain. But one that wasn't my own song, to be honest, I can't even mention it. To be honest, because what I've been doing lately is I've just finished a new album, and so I've been sending songs off to get mastered from mastering engineers, and so I've just been listening to that. I've been mainly listening to my own stuff. The last song that was from somebody else that I probably listened to was Damian Marley, probably one of his songs.
For me, it was Electric Avenue when we drove here.
Oh, you know what actually gets stuck in my head a lot is Rastaman Vibration, yeah, positive, because that's my daughter, who she's 2, that's her favorite song.
Really?
So whenever we're walking out, she says, Rastaman Vibration, yeah.
Awesome. Like what kind of words were her first?
Probably mummy was her first word. Mummy or daddy, mummy and daddy maybe. But yeah, no, I don't know, man. She says a lot of words. She's 2. She knows the whole alphabet. She can count to 10. She's super cool, man. Yeah.
Still love the baby dub thing you uploaded though.
Oh yeah, with her beatboxing.
Yeah.
And my wife is pregnant again. Actually, got another one coming. So.
Awesome.
I think the only message that I would tell people, there's so many things I could say. The world is going in so many different crazy directions, but if we're going to be on the subject of music and following your heart, like you were just saying then, I would say that just be sure that you're able to distinguish the difference between art and a product. There's a lot of artists out there that disguise themselves as artists, but actually they're just making a product. And look for the ones that are actually creating the art, because that's what will inspire you. That's what you will be able to take with you in through your life. If it's just a product, it's just something for the now and it's bullshit. And don't get any face tattoos. That shit's wank.